Here the student commits a major fault, failing their driving test. Now anybody can commit this mistake. You're learning, I understand, but you have to look at the scenario that you're in. As we get around the bend, you're going to hear the student even say it to themselves, "Should I overtake?"
After 200 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit, A3004, South Street.
So you can see the student asking, "Can I overtake?" But due to the fact that we're doing a mock driving test, we're not going to intervene. In a real driving test, the examiner's not going to help you. So you can see it's a bend. We've got a cyclist. We've got, in fact, two cyclists coming up. We've got a bend, and the student made the decision to overtake on the bend. Now, as we overtake, a car approaches towards us. Because of the bend, how can you see the car coming towards you? You can't. Therefore, you should have taken the safer option and waited behind the cyclist till you go around the bend where you can see clearly, and then if it's safe, overtake.
Okay, now independently drive by yourself following the sat nav. That's alright, number sat the way.
Arrive at your destination at
Double check the way. It's always good to
2:09
double check. Remember the sat nav speeds are not updated.
Driving test, you're going to be doing independent driving, whether that be following road signs. For example, you may have to follow the signs towards Twickenham, Richmond, or wherever the area you're in, or you'll be doing sat nav or GPS. Bear in mind, while you're using on your phone, so your instructor may use their phone, GPS, Google Maps, or Waves even. That's not the same as the sat nav that the examiner is going to be using. Their sat navs are not updated. For example, this road is 20, the sat nav may say 30. You're only following the sat nav for directions. As I said, it's not updated, so the speed signs may be incorrect. Can you spot the major fault here? We're driving on Kingsley Avenue next to Aladdin's Hounslow East Station. This is part of the driving test route in Isleworth. As we're driving, you're going to see the student make a decision. See if you can spot it. See who makes the call here. So a major fault is when an examiner intervenes, whether verbally or physically. You can see here the car suddenly swings back to the left. And why is that? There's cars coming towards you. The obstruction is on our side of the road. It's on the left side. Therefore, we have to be the one that waits. As you can see, the bus is now moving off. And so can we. Now, the situation here was the examiner intervened because the student committed to go around the bus when there was cars coming towards us. So let's see it again as we're driving. It's good we're planning to overtake, but if there's cars coming towards you, as you get there, you can see now, the student thought they can make it before this car comes through. You can see it's a bit too close, it's a bit too tight. So it was an incorrect decision, it was an unsafe decision, and we would have taken over someone's priority. So in this situation, it's considered a major fault. Even if you made it and cut through and made the car ahead of you brake for you, you'd fail your driving test because you've affected someone else's driving. The student fails for somebody else's bad driving. That's right, you can fail your driving test because somebody else drives incorrectly. Has this ever happened to you or somebody that you know in their driving test? Comment below and we're going to show you exactly what happened here and why the student would have got a major fault even though it wasn't really their fault. Here we are going up a bridge, and as we come down you can see a bus affecting our driving. We have to be a bit slow, it gets a bit tight. As we're driving, the student has to now deal with an ambulance behind, which you're going to see. not only are you dealing with the ambulance, you're dealing with the truck in front of you. So there's a lot of hazards happening in this small section so far. The student is dealing with quite a lot. He's going to slow down, or she's going to slow down for the ambulance to come through. We got a truck up ahead we have to think about. You can see the car slowing down. And okay, well done. So we've dealt with the hazard. We've got this truck as we have to think about. Make sure we have enough space for both of us, and we're turning left at the roundabout. As we're turning, you're going to see this car indicating. We should notice it in advance. The student makes the call, they're going to make it. But as they're driving through, you can see the car cutting through. So we're just going to slow down the pace a little bit just so you can see exactly what happened. Firstly, the student should have noticed the car indicating right. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. They had to be prepared for any bad hazard that's going to happen. Unfortunately, in this case, the car tried to cut through on the roundabout. You're going to see it now. Instead of going around the roundabout, they're cutting through. And we have to be the one that reacts to the hazard. Instead of slowing down and giving way, we kind of went through ahead. And the examiner may give this now a major 4. More likely than not, they will give them major 4. Yes, you're going to argue it's not our fault. I agree with that, but we have to deal with hazards. But what do you think? Comment below. Do you think that was a bit harsh to give a major 4 to fail the driving test? Or should they have passed? Or is it the other driver's fault? Comment below. So we're on our driving test and this happens. Who's in the wrong here? The student driving or the bus driver? As we're coming through this meeting scenario, we can clearly see the bus at this point. We could have easily moved in at this point. We still went forward, and now both of us have now come to an impasse here. So you can see the bus driver a bit disappointed, shaking his head. The student now moves across gently, moving across. It is really tight. So who was at the wrong at this point? Was it the bus driver or was it the student? Comment below. Let's hear what you think. So what you just saw does happen in our driving lessons sometimes. The students are just not thinking far ahead, not planning. You can see a gap here. You can see it's quite tight. You have to slow down your pace, check your mirrors and look for the gap. We've got the gap. The bus driver does have a bit of a gap, but remember, we're the one that's being examined. We're the one that's on our test. We have to be a little bit more cautious here. In this situation, the driver may fail you in your driving test. You can see the student somehow squeezes through, gets out the way, and it just about works out. But still, it was a wrong decision to have tried to go through. This is a really bad move from another driver that almost made our student fail the driving test. As you're coming across this parked car on the left, this van on the left parked up, obviously we want to try overtake, we want to check our mirrors, but we come to a slow stop giving way to the car ahead of us, which is the correct decision. You're going to see the student even leaves a little bit gap for the road ahead of us so the cars can get in. But you're going to see this car now, this car flashing at the student, giving them way. The student then checks their mirrors and moves. As they move, the car then moves ahead. So you can see it's a really bad move from the driver. I'm not sure why they did that. That's why you have to always be cautious when someone flashes at you. It doesn't mean they're giving you way. It could be a mistake. This one, the guy maybe changed their mind. Maybe they changed their mind. They wanted to give way. They decided against it. But as I said, it is a really bad move because if the student didn't react quick enough, it could have led to a major fault. You can see the student. You can see the car flashing. And as the student drives on, the car changes their mind. It has happened before. We've seen this as we're driving, as we're doing our lessons, as we're doing our driving test. So just be cautious. Check your mirrors thoroughly before you decide that the flash is for you.